This is your friendly reminder to go ahead and review your replays after you've had matches. It's also a friendly reminder that you can send me replay IDs if you want your game casted. If you have an interesting game, I will cast it if I find it interesting. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying FAF, I hope you're enjoying these videos, and I hope that this cast isn't a complete fuckfest. Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome to our third FAFcast. And today we're going to be on the map Seton's Clutch. It is a 20x20 map, and I'm pretty sure most people in the community know about it because it's been around since the beginning and all. But enough of me yammering on. Let's introduce our teams. Starting with the air position, we have the 1500 rated Blue Seraphim going by the name of You. Here in the air position in the back, he's going first land. Then down to his south, we have ourselves a Aeon, a green Aeon by the name of Takunu. Takunu. We're gonna go with Takunu. And then in the front position, going first and second land, we have Crusher 12321. He is a pink Aeon, and he is going to be trying to get out here and grab the juicy reclaim in the middle of the Seton's Clutch map. And then as the last player on Team 1, we have the Red Cybern by the name of Karis. And he is going first land and is going to attempt to take over the Northern Navy before the other player does, because that's how the pawns work. You're just trying to be the person with more boats. Onwards to Team 2. This time we'll start with the front player because he's walking. It's Nancy Boy K, and he is a red Aeon going first land as you would expect. And he is also trying to get that juicy reclaim all in the middle there. To his west, we have the first naval player. It is Nick 420, a white Seraphim. This is a red Aeon. I don't know if I mentioned Nancy Boy K as a red Aeon, but you know, whatever. Nick 420 is going Cybern first air. He's gonna be also vying for this. Pond up here. Let's go ahead and check on the air player. It is the 11 or TH311, and he is a blue Seraphim going first land, and he's going to be taking up the air slot for Team 2. And then we have the last but not least, we have Winter Fanel. Winter Fall NL? I don't know. Winter. We have Winter. The white Cybern who's going to be the gray Cybern who's going to be participating in the Southern Pond. With all of the introductions out of the way, let's go ahead and check out the spiciest part of Seton's, the only place where the two factions can meet on land, unless you like Aeon or Seraphim and you decide to be one of those wonky fucks who's like, my shit hovers. Ooh. I actually really like Aeon. And this is an Aeon counter mirror matchup in mid. Normally, I see a lot of UEF, Cybern, Seraphim in mid slot, but I think Aeon's pretty fun to play mid. Their tanks aren't super disadvantaged like they are in most maps, because there's not really much flanking opportunity. If you didn't notice, there's just kind of giant rivers. So as long as you have equal numbers of tanks, Auroras are pretty good. You just have to run away from your enemy when they charge you, and you'd get a lot of damage done. They're going to be working on getting more reclaim. In a minute or two, we'll check on the reclaim numbers, see who does exactly better on this. Also, I wanted to address something from the last cast. I've actually casted 2 games today, but watching the footage back of the first one I casted, it wasn't that great. But the last cast, the 5v5 on, I think it was Pyramid, I really appreciate the response you all have given me. You all have given me a great response. You all have been very supportive, and the comms are finally fighting. And over here we have a drop for the northernmost island, but we also have units coming in from Karis, so Nick may not be able to hold this. He needs to get a PD and some units out very quick. But thank you all for the response, and 1 or 2 of you all did point out a little bit of a stutter that goes on in the game. I don't really have control over it. It's a replay glitch. Whenever I play normal matches, it never happens. So if you notice a slight stutter, especially as we get further into the game, it's due to, as far as I understand it, it's due to some kind of statistical collection that was supposed to have already been fixed in the FAF client, but apparently it's not fixed for me, so that's just a long-winded way of saying, I know it's there, I'm looking for a solution, but I wanted to cast more games. So yeah, let's go ahead and check up here. We do have... Oh, he's using the transport to kill the engineers. Also, there's some Oh, it's a ghetto gunship. Okay. That was a ghetto gunship mixed with a engineer drop. That's quite clever. I like that. He put some hunters on that gunship and just used them to kill the engineers that he could. It looks like they got out a T1 mobile AA, and that managed to kill off the... Oh, no. You wanted that to be a Mantis, my friend, not a T1 AA. A Mantis would have been better. We could have gotten rid of these engineers. He's still at jeopardy for this island. He needs to be very careful, especially if a bomber comes out. He could definitely lose it. Building 2 PD is a good start, but your opponent can build PD, and this you need a factory up. You need units to win this. That island is still being contested for. Over here, we don't have the same story because it looks like Tucanu has managed to get this island to himself. We don't have any major attempt out of Winter. Sorry, I'm still kind of new. I'm trying to keep my head in the game as far as names go, but I keep on blanking and having to look at the scoreboard to remember whose name is what. Nancy Bourquet is actually taking a lot of damage, and I'm not seeing very many troops. Yeah, he's not producing very much. He does have T2 air and land on the way. Land is going to be finished much sooner than his air factory. He's going to have to hope that he can either get out enough engineers to make some PD or some units to stop this, because if Crusher starts pushing very soon, he is going to have quite the advantage. About to get a veterancy rank on this comm. Let's see if he's going to manage it. I think he will. These Auroras are still being aggressive on him, but he is going to have to duck into the water very soon. Let's go ahead and check on those reclaim numbers. Just passing the 80,000 reclaim mark for Crusher, while Nancy Boyke has gotten to almost, or did I say 80,000? 8,000 for Crusher, and almost to 8,000 for Nancy Boyke. So pretty even, but I think Crusher's going to get the lion's share as he has full control of mid now. This PD is not going to stop these Aurora. Yep, especially since there's no radar. I don't believe he can actually see the Aurora. And that bomber doesn't help either. So it looks like this push is going to start proceeding uninterrupted, unopposed. We do have some Seeker and Eruptors going up here, some T1 PD and AA, and we have one Obsidian tank out, but this is way more than a match for one Obsidian, so gonna need more Obsidians out, or maybe he can make some T2 PD. That might work as well. Let's go ahead and check in up here. That PD is still there, but it does look like, as far as PD wars go, their PD killed the engineers. So it looks like Karis is going to get this, or Saris? I don't know how to say it. Karis or Saris, something like that. He is going to be getting this island. Just gonna build a Medusa to take out that one PD. As in mid, we do have a concerted push, and it looks like it's starting to be quite successful. He's killed 2 mexes already. I wouldn't be surprised to see this mex fall as well. We have T1 bombers harassing. We do have a Spectre gunship coming out along with some T2 engineers. This Obsidian is putting up a valiant effort with defending, but it's just not looking very good here in the mid for Nancy Boyke. He does need to start doing something, and doing it quick, to stop this push. It is slowly petering out, and this Spectre is going to do a lot of work with that AoE attack. It's going to pick up kills on anything that clumps up together, like those two Aurora were there. The Eruptors are being surprisingly effective. 15 kills on one, 8 on the other. So they are slowly stopping this push. He needs to group up his units. Crusher needs to group up his units and just start throwing them in larger groups if he wants to break this, but in the time it would take to do that, we could just have some T2 PD, which that does seem to be Nancy's idea here. He is building an Oblivion. Let's check on the states of the 2 pawns. We have a lot of factories out for Karis, but none of them are producing, and we just have a couple frigates out. In the South Pond, it's more of a story. It looks somewhat even with a sub and 5 frigates versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frigates. So these 2 subs can kind of take up the slots of those 2 frigates. They're producing at roughly the same rate. 4 factories versus 5. Slight advantage to Winter. And yeah, this has been cleaned up with the help of those Spectres and the PD spam. He's managed to hold on here. He did lose a T2 mech spec here. Whether that was to bombers or T1 spam, I'm not 100%. It looks to me like it was probably bombers that got this. And Nancy Boy has made his way all the way from over here, walked his happy little Aeon ass all the way back to his base. That was quite risky. It's really risky to not make a bunch of units in front position on Setons. Trying to tech up early can bite you in the ass. If he didn't get those PD up when he did, they would have definitely pushed in and just started destroying everything in his base, those T1 units. Couple of frigates uselessly firing at a wall, I assume. Yep. Just got to get to T2 so you can get over that little cliffside. That's all you got to do. Let's go ahead and check on the eco totals. We have... It looks like U is... Oh, wait, no. TH1 is leading the pack at 105 mass income per second. And he is very stable with much excess power. Let's go ahead and check on U, his counterpart, who is only sitting on 88 and stalling mass quite heavily, but his power is okay. Behind them, we have... Actually, Takanu is at 98, so he's above his air player counterpart. Nancy Boy K sitting on 97, just behind Takanu. Let's see where Crusher is at. He is at 82, and his reclaim did end up being quite a bit higher. And let's just check total reclaims for everybody. Everybody's sitting between 4 and 10,000, it looks like. Yeah. We have Winter seems to be the player who is short stacking this game, sitting at a paltry 56. But then again, his counterpart, the other beach player, also kind of short stacking at 53. And Nick and Takanu are also deeply mismatched. Tuck having way more mass income at the moment, while probably because of the island, if I had to guess, but we have 67 here for Nick, and Takanu sitting on just over 100 at 109. So as far as eco goes, the advantage seems firmly in the hands of Team 1 up here on the top right. They have both islands. Even though this island isn't really held by anybody, there are units on it from Karis, so I'm going to call it Team 1's for now. It can very easily change, though, and Team 1 is, in general, doing pretty well. Team 2 has kind of been on the back foot this game, from the push of T1 units against Nancy Boy K and a few other things going on that just haven't gone their way, from this island to just... Yeah, the front and the island are the big things that haven't gone Team 1's or Team 2's way and have kind of gone Team 1's way. As Beach, it always feels good when you can kind of set the rock player behind. The rock player is usually going to be ahead of you economically no matter what you do, but stopping him from getting the island always feels good. We're in a little bit of a lull here. There's not very much going on. We may have a naval engagement over here. These units are posturing as if they want to attack each other. I believe that Nick might have a slight advantage in numbers over here. He's definitely going to win it as long as these torps don't get shot down immediately. We need you to respond with his ASF that are sitting over here and get rid of these torp bombers. And that does seem to be happening, along with Crusher sending out his inties. And that has prompted a full retreat from Harris, who does have T2 Navy out in the field, along with Nick 420. They both have Navy out on the field. We have Salem's on both sides, respectively. The only area where I think we actually have a tech mismatch is this bottom area, isn't it? Yeah, that's actually quite interesting. We have Seraphim in both air slots. Then we have Aeon in both front slots, Cybran in both northern pond slots, and then down here we have a Cybran and an Aeon matching off against each other. Seems like a very balanced as far as factions go. The only one not represented being the UEF, but yeah, they're the UEF. They're kind of boring. Let's see. I always like to support the Aeon because I think they have the worst troops. So, you know, if a player is doing good on Aeon, they're doing really good. I think Aeon needs a buff. Buff Aeon 2020. This engagement, it's hard to call, but I'm pretty sure that Karis is currently winning it. I think Karis is getting the better of this engagement. He does currently have less Salems, though, so that may start to play a difference. But his units did get in here, and he's forcing Nick to fall back. Now they have the same number of destroyers out here, same number of Salems. They did manage to focus down that third Salem from Nick. Or maybe my eyes were deceiving me and he only had two, but could have sworn I saw a third there. And now another Salem falling. This mermaid would help if these units weren't right on top of his. This mermaid being quite useless at the moment, except for the torpedo defense, maybe. We do have some torp bombers coming out to try and alleviate this force, as well as a Barracuda here. A Barracuda here to try and shut down this Salem push. As the dust settles, though, I think that it might be Nick who's ahead, but with what he's going to have left, there's not going to be much to do about these factories. They're going to be perfectly fine. Large amount of mass being inserted right here on the map, and it's very close to Karis's base. If he can get some engineers out here and reclaim a whole bunch, then he can throw that mass into his mechs, make a lot of progress. We have T3 on the way for Nancy, and that's a lot of T2 engineers around him. Normally you don't see this many T2 engineers, I feel. You see a whole bunch of T1 or you see a whole bunch of T3. T2 engineers just seeming to be left out on that, but Nancy has given them some love today. Oh, sorry if you all heard that. I totally just dropped something on my desk. The southern pond, not quite so active. Both players just building up units and sitting here. We can go ahead and check. We have currently 24 frigates, 11 T1 subs, 1 cruiser, and 3 destroyers for Tuckanoo. And then Winter is sitting on 23 destroyers, 1 mermaid, 1 Barracuda, and 1 Salem. So it's definitely Tuckanoo in the lead. He has way more T3 or T2 units that are just all around more useful, I'd have to say. The only thing here that could really mess with him is the mermaids, but there's not enough destroyers to abuse them currently. So yeah, that's going on, and that is a GC on the way from Nancy Boy, and he just got Tech 3. That's going up exceptionally quick. Is he running out of mass? And if so, how quickly? He is building that at quite a hasty speed. He's at 231 mass income already at this point in the game, almost outdoing everybody. But then again, TH311 is doing quite well for himself as well, and he has an upgrade on the way. What is that upgrade? Is he getting a tech upgrade? Will it tell me? He's getting splash on the comm. He just got speed and range. Are we about to see a teleport comm on the way? Oh, I want to see some teleport Rambo comm action from this Seraphim comm. Do not disappoint me. Or drop one of these bases with a transport and get full on nano comm. Just go full Rambo. That would also be acceptable. We'll have to keep up that. Keep an eye on that, as this GC is at 75%. It just went into the green, and a 19-minute GC is ridiculously fast, and the response from Crusher is to build his own GC. I don't know if that'll be finished in time, because any second now Nancy completes his. Nancy's will be done in just a matter of seconds. It's so close. Is he stalling on anything? No, he's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Thanos did nothing wrong. And that is a finished Galactic Colossus, the first experimental of the game. And it's barreling towards mid. We do have a lot of units helping to build this. It's at 40%, but this could go very wrong very fast if this does not finish in time. That GC is not beelining for the base. Hopefully he doesn't stop. He should just push as fast as possible. As we have yet more fighting going on in this northern pond, it still seems relatively even. It looks to me like there's about the same number of T2 units, but there are definitely more frigates in this area for Karis. Hopefully these factories can possibly even this out. Very even footing so far, but if target firing becomes a thing, this could be very bad. And we have a mix of techs up here. It looks like Crusher has gotten into the naval game and gifted an Exodus class destroyer over to Karis, and he is using it well, focus firing down the T2 ships, dismantling this navy one ship at a time, as his is much slower at being dismantled. This GC is still walking towards mid, but the opposing GC is at 77%. This needs to finish now, or honestly, it's never going to. He needs this GC immediately. It is taking fire from some Exodus class destroyers over here, and they are going to do quite a bit. These shields are going to help. These asylums just absolutely locking this GC into its own protection. Protection. That's how you say protection. I cannot speak today, but they are locking it into protection for a little bit. The Exodus is getting a little bit distracted by them. They've managed to shave off 5,000 hit points, as the opposing GC is about to finish 97. 98, 99, is it gonna finish? Is it gonna finish? Oh, it's done. I think with the combination of these Nathas knocking this health down, that this GC is doomed entirely. And I saw Telly in the chat and I was so excited, hoping it was real. It is real, and TH311 is going to kill you with a Rambo comm and gets a rank of vet when just under 1,000 HP from those PD. This splash guncom has already taken out our first player, you, the first to be ejected, with a 21-minute teleport double gun Seraphim comm. Very fast late game strategies coming out from players on Team 2, and that has set them firmly in the driver's seat for this game. He is going to be able to kill all of this air production, and that's going to be brutal for Team 1, or for Team 1, yeah. I keep on thinking he's up here, so this is going to be Team 1, but no, he's on Team 2. Team 1 is not going to have any more air units that are going to be produced. They're just not going to see it. There's no T3 air from anybody else, is there? I'm not seeing it. No, there's no T3 air for anyone else. This Seraphim teleport comm has given complete air control over to Team 2. Sure, there are some ASF laying around, and they could win a fight. But after that fight, they will lose numbers guaranteed. It is a game of attrition, and until somebody else gets up a large air presence, it's a game that cannot be won by Team 1. They need to get a response up to this, whether it's building a lot of static AA around the map, or simply getting back into the air game with multiple players, throwing a lot of mass power and above all time into getting back into the air game. We have a second GC completed here, and a third on the way. Nancy has just turned into a GC factory. He has given up on any other strategy. He is making GCs and nothing but. I think that Tuckanu needs to do something with this Navy. He is sitting here. I'm not sure if he has the advantage or not, but he has to try. His team is massively behind. We can see Karis feeling the pressure, is definitely pushing hard into Nick. Needs to make sure to keep this pressure up and constantly have reinforcements coming. We need these Exodus classes from Crusher to come over here and help turn this battle. If they can get control of one of the pawns, they may be able to shut down this GC production, get rid of all these T3 mexes, slow down Nancy, because you can only defend against so many GCs, and oh, this is going to be a close one. 65,000 versus 65,000. Oh, the help from the Exodus class destroyers over here and these T2 PD mean that this GC is doomed. Nancy Boy is going to lose yet another GC due to destroyers, actually. Both of them were from destroyers. I guess the T2 PD some of these were built during the first time the first GC was here. But the only problem with this is, while that GC has just died, there's another one already built, and I don't believe Crusher still has the capability to build a GC as fast as his opponent. So this is a very much so a losing battle if he keeps just trying to defend this. He's got to come up with some kind of solution for these GCs. While the northern pond is slowly collapsing, we're seeing factories die. Anytime you see factories die, that means that player is losing, and losing hard. You do not want to see naval factories die. They take well, I don't know if they take any longer than the other factories to build, but once they start dying, it's so slow, because whatever they were building dies, and they take up a bunch of space, and you have to move long ways to build more of them. It's just a bad news bears situation, and I don't see Nick being able to sustain his naval power anymore. He is going to be pushed out of the water, and what that means for Team 2 is they need to address this flank, because this flank could get dangerous really quick with these Salems, which can just decide, I'm no longer a naval unit, I'm a land unit, and while I may be slow, I can walk all the way to the air player's base. We have a Mercy coming out from Nancy's. Is that gonna do anything? I'm not seeing any AA. Is this... why? I mean, I guess he is repairing the GC, but at the same time, your GC has 999,000 health, 999,999 health versus 37,000. I'm pretty sure you win this. He does not have nearly enough PD to make that a loss. But hey, I guess the Mercy is relatively cheap, so just throwing that at him can't hurt, as another GC is almost done by the time this one has even arrived here to fight yet again. This GC from Crusher has been an absolute beast. He's won in the arena of Colossuses twice, but now it must come to an end. He will no longer be able to do anything but cross the beams with the opponent, who will eventually lead to his demise, and he is out of there. Now, the other Galactic Colossus, to be fair, is not looking too hot at 30,000 HP, but that's 30,000 HP. That's still a lot to chew through, and Crusher needs to start moving his comm now while the GC is distracted with pesky things like Tech 3 mexes. Or maybe that was a Tech 2 mex. I wasn't paying too much attention. And Navy has been lost over here in the northern pond for Team 2. And they're starting to feel it as mexes fall. And more ships pour in over here. I'd like to see those Salems come around this edge of this island and start making their way on land. But while we have a relative lull, because I don't think this GC is going to do anything spectacular for a minute, let's go ahead and check on the ecos again. Crusher is sitting at 441 mass a second. Do keep in mind he does have the mass. He is supposed to have the mass of 2 players, so he is the head of the pack, but he's also not managed to get back into the air game in a meaningful way. Well, actually, I guess he has. He does have these air factories over here. He needs more. He needs to be producing more interceptors, or more ASF very soon. Tuckanoo is sitting on 361 mass a tick, and he's just using it to build scout planes and boats that he's not using to fight with. He needs to start fighting with these boats, which he has in a very nice circle. I don't even know how you get the boats in a circle, but that's a very nice circle he's made. We have Karis sitting on 93 mass, still hasn't broken 100. Definitely the one short stacking this game. Winter now at 231. Nick has fallen quite a bit with the loss of those 5 mexes. He is now at 172. Nancy Boy still sitting around where we checked last time, which is 223 mass. And TH311 is sitting at 343, I think? I don't know. He's not stalling enough for that to be an issue. And I would guess that this little base I've just noticed up here is a result of shenanigans involving teleporting comms. And I'm also guessing this is telecom shenanigans. Oh, here's the teleporting comm currently. Let's see what's going on. We do have him trying to kill this Tech 3 air factory. This Tech 3 air HQ. And if he gets rid of that, oh, that is absolutely brutal. As we have T1 PD being thrown up very quickly by all of these engineers. Is he going to make it out in time? He's trying to walk away. No! No, the teleport comm is dead. Oh, damn. TH311. You made this game so much fun. Not for Crusher, but for all of us watching. I love seeing it whenever there's a comm that teleports around and doesn't use a laser. Telemaser is pretty cool, but as far as teleporting comms go, double gun Seraphim teleport comm, there's nothing like it. It's so beautiful. Such a thing of amazing glory to watch. And we can see here that Nancy has taken this death with quite a bit of insult as he uses his dead air player's ASF to absolutely demolish any chance of an air defense against this Galactic Colossus, which is now cutting down yet another air HQ. So many air HQs for Team 1 have been destroyed. T1 bombers being poured out in droves for Team 1 to try and deal with this GC. I mean, I was going to say, is that going to be effective? But enough T1 bombers can kill it. I'm positive of that fact. And these destroyers and these battleships aren't hurting the situation either, even though another GC over here is killing the battleships. Nancy, you are just a GC producing machine, and now you've built a nuke launcher. Nancy just getting things done, I guess. GCs and nukes. Who would have guessed this Seton's match would look like a dual gap match so much? Nukes and GCs everywhere. The only thing we haven't gotten is some T3 already, but there's always time. Give Nancy some time. He'll make a T3 already. He's made an ass washer, or Awasa, if you're gonna be boring and not call it ass washer. And he's making a Tsar. Knowing his air control, that's actually a quite good plan, as we finally have this epic battle, and I'm missing it, of these two massive balls of boats. So many projectiles just flying every which way. I'm pretty sure the advantage here is to Tucanu, who's been on significantly more mass this entire game, and I think has more factories. Especially more teched up factories. You can just see those beams flying out, but we do have a battleship here. If you could get that out of the range of the Exoduses, it could do something, but no, that's gonna die relatively quickly. That is a lot of submarines. The ass washer is coming out trying to help quell this attack coming on from Tucanu. Imagine if he had done this 5 minutes earlier. I'm pretty sure he's always been in the dominant enough position to do this, to take out these factories. And once you take out the factories, it's just like with air. They got to get more up, and it's so difficult to get back into a naval or air game. So much more difficult than it is to get back into the land game. All of these boats from Karis have decided to come up here and take out this island. I don't know how much I agree with that. There are Wagners coming out, but they're not going to be very effective, I don't believe. And the ass washer is definitely, I mean, it's definitely doing its job. It's killed off a lot of the naval ships on the surface. I don't know. Can it do anything to these subs? I guess we're going to find out, because I'm assuming a ground firing on the subs is going to happen sooner rather than later. Here it comes. Are these subs going to all die, is the question. That's a resounding yes. That's a lot of dead subs. Now, there is something I wanted to check. What does the Wagner's torpedo look like? With a paltry 7 DPS, and just to compare that to a normal destroyer's DPS. Do you not have any destroyers? Are you going to make a liar out of me? You are going to make a liar out of me. You're boring. Oh, here's a destroyer. 50 DPS from a norm... Or wait, no. No, yeah, no, 50 DPS from a normal destroyer. DPS isn't super important. They do a lot of damage per torpedo, but they have a long reload. But still, it's a stark difference between the levels of damage there. And Karis has Control Cade, as so has Tucanu. I think that's game, isn't it? Unless something... Did something kill Tucanu? No, his comm blew up over here. The GC came in and started destroying his stuff, and he was like, yeah, I'm done with that. And then Karis also Control Cade, so now we only have Crusher here to fight alone. And Crusher has also Control Cade. Team 1 has decided to capitulate with these various setbacks. The map just slowly closing in around them, and I can't blame them. I wouldn't want to play in a match like this either, where everything is lost. You've lost pretty much both navies, because this would have been a naval loss with all of the air support, and this would have just started coming on land, honestly. With the air lost, both navies lost, I'm pretty sure that nobody's gonna come back from that. And with that, I thank you all for watching today's cast. I hope the stutter was not too horrible. I've done a few things to try and make it better, but I don't believe there's a way for me to get rid of it entirely until I find out what I need to do with my client and game to fix it. I've tried on installing, reinstalling, and all that. But I do want to ask you all something. If you enjoy my content, if you enjoy hearing my voice or whatever, if you could go give my Fallout series a try, I would really appreciate it. We are 32 episodes in, and it's honestly one of the most fun experiences I've had. And if you want to talk to me more, there's always my Discord. You can join that. There is a link in the description to my Discord. There will be more casts in the future. If you want to game casts, please send me your replay ID. And other than that, I love you all. See you around.